Last week, Apple introduced the iPhone 13, and one of the coolest features of the new phone is called cinematic mode. But it's not really a feature of the phone, it's rather an AI feature. First of all, let's look at how cool cinematic mode is directly from Apple.
Filmmakers have used focus changes to tell engaging stories for decades. It's a technique called rack focus that requires skill, planning, and creative vision. You've seen rack focus used in all your favorite films. It brings a whole new dimension to storytelling. Well, we're bringing this capability to iPhone in a simple and intuitive way so you can capture cinema-style moments even if you aren't a professional filmmaker. And guess what? The movie clip you just saw was shot on iPhone. Just start recording, and cinematic mode will hold focus on the subject, even when they're moving. Focus transitions happen automatically in real time, like from one subject to another. Cinematic mode anticipates when a subject is about to enter the frame and intelligently racks focus to them when they do. And when a subject gazes away from the camera, iPhone itself changes focus, and then back.
So let's try to understand how this technology works and then what it means for the future of smartphones and photography. So behind cinematic mode, there are at least 3 AI algorithms. The first algorithm is called object localization. It basically needs to find out in an image what are the most important elements. For instance, in this shot that you're looking at right now, maybe the most important things are the fact that there's a face here, a microphone right here, a guitar on the back, a lamp over there, etc., etc. And to do that, you need AI. So you need an artificial intelligence algorithm that identifies what elements are in the image and where they are. The second element of AI in this project is that they need to know what's the most important element in an image, and it looks like Apple did that by training a machine learning algorithm on top of the decisions that professional cinematographers made. This is an extract from their own website. We also trained the neural engine to work like the experts. It makes on-the-fly decisions about what should be in focus, and it applies smooth focus transition when it changes. If you want creative control, you can always hop in the director's chair and rack focus manually, either when you shoot or in the edit. And this is the interesting thing. We trained neural engine to work like the experts. So from what they said, it sounds like they asked some experts to make some decisions about what to focus on in certain shots, and then they collected data from these experts and they allow these AI algorithms to learn from them. So that would be the second AI algorithm that you need to make cinematic mode work. But the third algorithm that you need is called a segmentation algorithm. So let's suppose that in this shot, the most important thing is my face, and the guitar, the lamp, and the microphone are not very important. So what the segmentation algorithm would do is it will segment me out of the image, so find exactly where my shoulder ends, where my ear ends, where my hair ends, etc., etc., and then cut me out from the image, so that then they can apply a fourth filter to the back and blur it a little bit so that it has that nice bokeh effect that we really like in photography. As you can see, all of these things are happening behind the scenes without us recognizing that there's an AI algorithm working, which I think makes this product pretty magical, right? Because it's not an AI algorithm that is invasive. It's something that you're working with without realizing what's happening. But in the back, there's 3 AI algorithms making a lot of work to make it smooth, nice, and beautiful. So now let's try to understand why this feature is important and what it can mean for the future of software and of photography. So first of all, we're looking at the amazing software that Apple is using, because again, as you understood, this is an AI feature, not a hardware feature like, for instance, the new screen. But even if the software is the secret sauce, that wouldn't be possible without the right hardware. So good segmentation, so understanding where my body is enabled by the fact that Apple has a LiDAR on the back of their phone. A LiDAR is the same kind of hardware that is used on self-driving cars. It basically spits out a bunch of laser signals, and then it measures where things are in an image. This means that they are able to know exactly where my face ends so that they can blur the background. So how would you make cinematic mode without this sensor? It will be pretty hard and maybe not as smooth. But also think about the microchips. If you're shooting a movie in 4K at 30 frames per second, that's an insane amount of data that your phone needs to process in real time. It wouldn't be possible to make this technology work in real time in such a smooth way without having the right chips that are fast enough to process all these calculations. The second thing that I want to talk about is the product strategy of Apple. You know, this feature is gonna be just for the iPhone 13, it looks like at least. But the iPhone 12 already has a LiDAR, and its chip, it's slower than the iPhone 13 maybe, but it's kind of the same, right? So in theory, Apple could unlock cinematic mode also on older models, but it doesn't look like they want to do it. Understand that this is not a technical decision. There's no limitation to put that on the iPhone 12. It's a strategy. Basically, Apple couldn't innovate much on the hardware side to make the iPhone 13 so much different and so much newer than the iPhone 12. So what they had to do, since the hardware has basically saturated, it's so hard to make it better, was to add another amazing software feature on top that they decided to use only on the iPhone 13. Even though, again, they could have used it on the iPhone 12 as well, or maybe even the 11 without the LiDAR, but maybe you could make it work. So that's an important part of Apple's strategy. Software is becoming the differentiating factor of new phones because the hardware has saturated and AI is the playing field for new amazing software features. The last thing that I want to focus on is the fact that it looks like Apple has worked with cinematographers, with domain experts to make their AI algorithms be so nice and make the feature be so beautiful to use for their users. And this is something I stress about a lot in all my courses and in all my educational programs. It's important for AI to be developed together with domain experts. If you take a data scientist alone, it's never going to be able to make a cool feature for video makers. But if you take a data scientist and you make it work with a cinematographer, together they can develop some pretty amazing features that can help everybody who makes videos make better videos. So working with domain experts, it's key. And Apple, it looks like they found that out. It looks like they know it, and that's what they're doing. I am so excited to try cinematic mode. I want to try it with my own hands, and if I actually like it and if it's as good as it looks like from demos, you can be sure that I'm gonna get my hands on an iPhone 13 Pro. What do you think about this feature? Are you gonna upgrade to the iPhone 13? Do you want to try it out? Let me know down in the comments. See ya.